My name's Zach. I'm here to bring to what I've been thinking about, sharing about, talking about, listening to It Doesn't Belong in Math Class. If you're new to the channel, I invite you to subscribe. Today we had a snow day. I woke up this morning seeing some snow and realized we're probably going to have some sort of delay. Checked my email, got 2-hour delay message, and then realized, you know what? I think that we might get a snow day. But I didn't really bank on it. Went outside, shoveled, and got a text from one of my coworkers saying we do in fact have a snow day. So the question is, what to do at the snow day? There's so many things that we can do with our snow day that so many of us probably choose not to do. So what's the best way to use it? Well, some of the things that I think are most useful for a snow day are probably doing things that we usually don't have time for. Not necessarily catching up on things that we always do, but instead looking for what are the things that we don't do or that we always wish we were doing, and to do those. So last time I shared a couple things from my list of 100 things to do on list of 100 things to do more interesting or inspiring than watching TV. So today I figured I would share with you a couple ideas I had / what I've done so far. So one thing I often don't feel like I have time for, or it just doesn't seem like appropriate, is thinking about doing live streams. One of the things I love doing, obviously, as a YouTuber, is I love talking with, being with, and commenting back and forth with different viewers. So on a snow day, when I know they're gonna be home, they're looking for content to watch, and the possibility of them being able to interact with their teacher while I'm at my house, I figure some students might be interested in doing that. Last snow day, I think I had about 10 people watching at one point. Another thing that I plan on doing today is I plan on giving a couple family members a call. As I've gotten to do a bunch of the planning that I would normally do at night, I got to do that during the day instead of the night. So I'm going to be giving my aunt a call that I haven't talked to in a while, and I plan on giving a call to a couple of my friends who I haven't seen in some time. So I feel like all the time people are saying that they want to be really close with family, or family is really important. And sometimes it's really hard to schedule or think about when is a good time to go talk to these people. So that's one of the things that I plan to do today, is actually go call a couple family members. And I figured I would share a couple lessons from my book. Uh, I just I don't leaf through it too often, so it's kind of fun for me to go in here and look at some things I wrote a couple of years ago. They're all pretty consistent with what I still talk about and believe in. So let's find a random one. Idea 54. Money requires no suffering. For me, I have recently seen opportunities to make money and have needed some capital to get started, yet had no extra money at the end of the paycheck to play with. So I thought to myself, what could I sell? Where do I have extra time that I could get some extra cash? What am I good at? I realized I have a football card collection back at my parents' house, and a good way to continually get better at my profession of teaching would be to pick up some hours tutoring. So I'm now working on selling some cards on eBay, and have picked up 5 extra tutoring hours per week. I can now have around $100 extra per week from tutoring, and have a potential of around $1,000 worth of cards to use as investment money. This book is also a fun way for me to learn how to publish a book and go through the first learning curve of publishing something. I don't plan to make much money, and it will be a great investment in my education for publishing, authoring, writing, and producing value for the world. This time is already a sunk cost, as I would probably be watching YouTube or playing video games, so I do not see these hours as an opportunity to go take on an hourly job. This is fun, and my plan is to keep it being fun. I think that people assume that making extra money requires suffering or requires making serious sacrifice. I know that people bust their backs working tough or unpleasant jobs trying to get ahead. I disagree that this is the only way that we can pay bills or pay for what else we want in life. Where could you be gaining money by practicing some skills that you enjoy doing? Where could you be selling something that is just taking up space and maybe a great opportunity to let go of? What have you always wanted to do but not serious about, that if created could be something that you could sell? So that's my idea 54 from Ideas Over Coffee, talking about money requires no suffering. So ask yourself, what are some things that you want to get ahead in, or you want more money for in life, that you are constantly you're saying, I don't want to pick up another job. What's one of those things that if you had more money you would really want? And what's a way you could probably get there without having much money required? One of the things that I really wanted to do at that time was I wanted to invest in a couple different stocks. As many of you know, I really want to own, I really want my next car to be a Tesla. In fact, I asked for this book for Christmas, and I didn't realize that it was in here until the other night, but I think my mother-in-law had bought for me. She got me this sticker. It says my next car is, and it's the E from the Tesla logo. So one of the things I really wanted to do is get some Tesla stock, and one of the ways that I wanted to end up doing it, I was able to get some for it, but I actually, in that book right there, I was just saying how I had a bunch of sports cards at home that I wanted to sell, and I ended up going to a card show. I had like 50 cards that were like on the nicer side, like worth a couple bucks, and I said, hey, I went over to this guy and I said, hey, I would love to trade you all these cards for like this one card. I wanted to get a John Elway rookie card. I wanted to get a Kobe Bryant rookie card, and I wanted to get I forget what the other one was. I think it was like some Michael Jordan card or something. Or it was another NFL like rookie card or something. But I went in there, and the goal behind it was that I really wanted to just have all my assets in one place. So I had like tons and tons of cards. I think at some point when I was in like middle school or something, or high school, I calculated I had about $3,000 worth of cards. I knew they were degrading in value, and there were just a couple that were going up in value. So I went out and tried to sell a bunch of them. I wasn't all that successful in trying to sell them individually. I was, however, able to get them down. Instead of having a bunch of okay cards, I have like 3 or 4 really nice cards that I like having. I ended up not selling them, and so I think those cards are sort of an investment in themselves. In fact, let me look that up. John Elway rookie card value. Pretty sure it was Topps. Oh yeah, and it's graded. So the card right now, it says it's worth $150. So when I was trying to make money, that was the card that I wanted. It's now worth 100. Number 60. Weird. All right, maybe those are signed. Why is that one so much more expensive? That can't be right. Maybe it's it's because one's an 8, one's a 10. I think mine's marked as like graded at like a 9.5 or something. So it's probably like a $500 card or something. But that was one of the ones I really wanted to own, and so that was a fun way for me to get involved and use some of my extra time. And I ended up now I have like a 1 card investment instead of a diversified crappier card investment, which I figured a bunch of them were going to lose their value anyway. So I'll say this: if you are someone that live streams out there and you're talking, I'll tell you one really challenging thing is not logging off. It's been 8 minutes now. I've seen 2 people come on, and I'm talking to nobody right now. I'm sure not too many people are gonna see this, but I'm gonna try to see if I can go for an hour. Sometimes I really love answering what people are asking me. So here are a couple ideas that I'll come from. So recently, someone asked me in a YouTube comment, they said, what are some things that you learned from being a teacher? So one of the things I think that I've learned from being a teacher is I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned about where I get lazy. I've learned about when are the moments that I really I turn it on versus when are the moments that I really try to get lazy or like I underplan for things. And it's been a really interesting journey noticing those things first and then seeing what I can do about them. I think a lot of people that go into teaching, we're all excited to go talk with teenagers or whatever age group it is that you're excited to be with, whether it be elementary school or it be middle school or high school. I think we're all excited to, there's a great clip. It's like if you just look up on Google like what what it's really like to be, and then you put in any profession, you'll see like 6 images: what I think I do, what my parents think I do, what my friends think I do, what society thinks I do, what my students think I do, and what I actually do. And I think a lot of people are really excited to interact with their students all day. And what they find, especially in the middle or high school level, is that you're just buried in paperwork all the time. And that's kind of the reality of the job sometimes. And I know that when it comes to creating more papers on my desk or creating more paperwork for myself, I get pessimistic. So I think another thing that I've learned as a teacher is you really want to have a good sense of what kind of culture you want to be in. I think I've learned a lot about what kind of culture I do and don't like. I think I've learned a lot about how I think education should work, and I have a lot of judgments about the way the system works right now, and I can't decide if it's training people well for the things that we want them trained for. A lot of people out there, I think there's a lot of people that are really interested in rigor and making sure, students are really able to have and do and use these certain set of skills. And it's interesting is the content that we end up teaching them doesn't always seem applicable, but I think the process of them doing that is often really applicable. So for example, my wife, she's like a 3.7 or so, 3 point, something really high in college. She got summa cum laude. And I think one of the things she's really good at is researching. We're working on things with the house, and she is just diving in. She's doing a lot of stuff. She's learning a lot really fast, and I have a hard time keeping up with her. And I think that mentality of being an A student and learning how to study, learning how to dive through material like that, that's really benefited her. And at the same time, I think she has really high stress and anxiety. And that's one of the things that I think I'm better at handling is stress and anxiety. I'm able to look at a bigger picture, I think, a lot of times. And because I'm able to do that, I'm able to see stress and anxiety as something that I can sort of avoid. I don't have to buy into. So it's been fairly easy for me to for me to deal with that. By the way, again, I'm still having these pretty strong feelings of just turning off this live stream, as I still have had 2, probably less than a minute, and I'm 12 minutes in. Another thing I think I've learned about teacher is where my patience goes low and where I have a lot of patience. I think I've learned a lot about, as a teacher, when you have to teach multiple lessons of the same stuff, you get absurdly good at certain skills. So, slope intercept form or solving for X and Y in an equation, like you just understand it on a whole new level. And sometimes if you're really well trained at something, like I was in engineering, I think it's hard to come down to a level that's seeing it for the first time. So realize the stuff really well, but you might have trouble conveying that to someone that doesn't know it, because you got to be able to get on like a middle, can't just vocabulary that they're not used to. So it's interesting thinking about how challenging it is to teach certain things because you can be like extra good at something in like